think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sentinel. I'm currently traveling, so pardon my appearance. And today's podcast is going to be about President Zelensky's visit to the White House. But before I start, I've got a couple of administrative notes that I just want to talk about real quick. The first one is, I've always asked you to share this channel with your ex, with your mother-in-law, with your friends, with your neighbors, and your dogs. So a couple of you came up and asked me if they could share this channel with their cats. Absolutely. I want you to share this channel with your cats. We want to encourage them because the cats also need to know. I mean, it's really that simple. And if you happen to have goldfish, by all means, share the channel with them also. And the second topic I want to talk to you about is the previous podcast, 2 removed, that I did, the one about the Judge Advocate General Corps and how the president fired all the top 3 leaders of the JAGs for each services. And there's some of you that wrongly thought that I was criticizing the president for doing so. Let me be very clear. For somebody that was previously targeted by the JAG and the IG, I have very little love for them. And I think we need to clean up the Judge Advocate General Corps. But we need to do it in a manner that they become independent rather than continue to belong to the service chiefs and also to the commanders, because the commanders can weaponize these lawyers and then they come after you with vengeance, as happened in my case. And you can go look at my origin story at the Man Coach's channel, Joel Rodriguez, a Marine that I served with, and I talk about all this stuff. So I've got very little tolerance for the Judge Advocate General Corps. Now, there's many of them that do good work, and they protect the young troops. But there's others that want to get ahead, and they're looking for promotion, so they become sycophants, and they try to protect the commanders. We don't want those types. We want those types of lawyers in the military that'll uphold the UCMJ and the Constitution of the United States. Those are the types we want. So I wasn't criticizing the president. All I try to do in my podcast is show the various points of view on the topic, and then let the viewer decide. As our national motto is E pluribus unum, from many one, we're a big country, and it's okay for people to have different views. And it's okay to disagree. I fundamentally believe that disagreement is the foundation of freedom of speech. And we can disagree with each other in a civilized manner. There's no reason to throw insults at each other when you disagree with somebody. We should be tolerant of others' points of view. That doesn't mean that we should accept them. That's up to you. That's your personal choice. So I just want to clarify this. And then now, talking about President Zelensky's visit, it was unbelievable. In my lifetime, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a foreign visiting dignitary, a head of state, being thrown out of the White House. And Zelensky misread President Trump. And he misread him for a couple of reasons. The first one was how he was dressed. Now, we all know that President Trump likes to wear his coat and tie, and he respects the Oval Office. And we should respect the Oval Office because he expects you to come to the Oval Office always be in a coat and tie. So Zelensky shows up in his atypical, olive drab, military type sweatshirt and cargo pants. And Trump made a comment about that when he went out to receive him. And it was very inappropriate. It was insulting not only to the president, it was insulting to the Oval Office, insulting to the American people. So that's the first part. The second part is he misread President Trump's agenda. President Trump's agenda is very clear, and he's talked about it. That's one thing about President Trump. Like him or hate him, he keeps no secrets. He speaks exactly what's on his mind. He's not right all the time, but that's the beauty about him. The man has no filters, and he says exactly what's going on. And in this case, he did. And he talked about how he wants peace in Europe. He's tired of funding this war in Ukraine, upwards of $60 billion. Some experts are claiming that it's over $100 billion. And quite frankly, the president is right. We don't want to fuel an endless war. We want peace. And the president is also not a big advocate of NATO. He feels the United States is paying a larger share than the other European countries for NATO. So this is a hot ticket item with him, and he's been very clear about his positions. And he was able to talk with President Putin and also have him agree to peace. So in the background, he's been talking to Putin. He's been talking to the NATO members. You know, the British Prime Minister just visited with them. So he's getting all these ducks in line for peace. And then he invites Zelensky over. And Zelensky comes over, and what does he want? Endless war. And rather than talking about peace, he's talking about he wants more resources from the United States. It ain't going to happen, Zelensky. I'm telling you that right now. Whoever's advising you is dead wrong. And let me tell you another fatal error that you made. That press moment in the Oval Office is really a meet and greet moment where you exchange pleasantries and all that stuff. And that was a wrong moment for you to get in a little tissy with the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. It was highly inappropriate. It was uncalled for, and J.D. Vance was trying to set the discussion back on the right track, and you started going after the Vice President of the United States. Now, let me tell you something there, stud, okay? Americans, we may disagree with a lot of stuff, but we come together when anybody who's non-American goes after our leadership, our way of life, or our people. We become united very quickly, and you were dead wrong. You shouldn't have done that. And President Trump, interceded and basically told you to shut the hell up, and you don't have any cards in your hands, because he was trying to bring peace to the table, and you wanted more wars. It ain't going to happen. American people are not going to keep giving you a blank check. Now, Biden may have, and let me tell you something, most Americans didn't agree with that horse shit either. I think you misread the whole agenda of the trip, and you misread President Trump and what his aims are for Europe. So that's the first part. The second part that you misread was a few weeks back, the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, visited the White House. And President Trump was very supportive of him and gave Israel additional resources. He released about 1,800 2,000-pound bombs and whatnot to Israel. And I think you misread that situation. The relationship the United States has with Israel and with Netanyahu is not the relationship the United States has with Ukraine and Zelensky. And I think that's important to remember. So you can't come in there expecting the same outcomes. Let me tell you something else. President Trump also wants peace in the Middle East. And I think once he gets peace in Europe, he's established that, the next thing he's going to focus on is peace in the Middle East. Because the American people are also getting tired of funding these endless wars in the Middle East. They're also tired of giving Israel billions and billions of dollars every year that comes out of our taxpayers' hide. Our national debt has gone up to over $36 trillion. And we're paying over $1 trillion a year just on interest. We just can't simply afford it anymore. We've got decaying infrastructure. We've got unsecured borders. We've got 50 million Americans that are food insecure. And what that means is they know where they're going to get their meals for today, but they don't know where their meals are coming for tomorrow. We've got a drug problem that President Trump is trying to resolve with Mexico and the cartels. And President Trump is also addressing the high crime issues. So the United States needs to fix its own house before we can go and fix other people's homes, right? And that's the agenda of this America First policy, and unfortunately Zelensky misread it. Hey, let me tell you something, Zelensky. We're not a bunch of chumps that we're just going to keep giving you money, okay? We want peace. And if you don't want peace, you're not going to last that long. I guarantee you that, because we're not going to put up with it. And so it's high time that you figure out exactly what the overall agenda is between the United States, between Russia, and between all the European countries that President Trump has aligned behind him. And if you're the odd man out, you ain't going to last too long. So I strongly recommend to you, if you're a subscriber, or if your dog or goldfish or your cat subscribes to the channel, listen to me. It's very important that you do. Everybody wants peace. You don't want to continue down this path of endless war. It's not good for the Ukrainian people, and it's not good for Europe. And as President Trump said, we don't want World War III. Before I go, let me know your thoughts of what you think, what happened in the White House and the Oval Office, and do you agree with President Trump or do you disagree with him? But do it in a civilized manner, please. And that's all I got. Stay rugged, stay united. Con out.